Alright guys, today we are going to be talking about 5.2, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about fractions, today we're going to be talking about mixed numbers. We are finding the sum or the difference of these numbers. Whenever we do this, I actually would like you to have them instead of from left to right, I want us to have one number on top and the other one directly underneath it. So go ahead and rewrite that original problem. We're going to do 48 1/3 plus 41 1/3. Now this is going to be similar to your homework tonight, and I want to show you a part that's on your homework tonight. Tonight's instructions will ask you to find the sum or the difference, but then it will also ask you to estimate the answer. So something I wrote up here with a little star, you don't actually have to write the estimate down on paper. It's just going to be an idea of you to kind of guess in your head about what the answer should be. So let's look at this first one right here, 48 1/3. If I were rounding that to the nearest tens, what would that round to? A 50, okay? Once again, you don't have to write this down, but I'm just going to kind of write it for us to know. A 50, and then this one right here, 41 1/3, about what would that be? 40. About a 40, okay? So what is 50 plus 40? 90. So this right here, what we did was we estimated that, okay? When you come to your SATs in the spring, you're going to need to know how to estimate things. Estimate just means guess, okay? So you're taking your best guess. So we are guessing our answer is going to be about 90. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this problem together. The first thing you're going to do every time is your fraction. Everyone say fractions first.
Fractions first.
All right, so as I'm looking at my fractions right here, I've got 1/3 and 1/3. Does it already have a common denominator?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It's a 3. So I'm going to keep my same denominator. 1/3 plus 1/3. What is that, guys?
2/3.
That is 2/3. All right, now let's just add like normal. 8 plus 1?
9.
And 4 plus 4? 8. So your answer is 89 2/3. We estimated earlier that it was going to be around 90. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Okay, so we did figure out, we estimated, and it seems like a good choice. Once again, as I said right here, you do not have to write the estimate down on your paper or in your homework for tonight. Let's try out number 2. So most of the time when you see a problem, it is going to be written from left to right, but I, as I said before, want you to go ahead and rewrite it, one number on top and the other one directly underneath it. Be careful, one of the biggest mistakes that 7th graders make is they forget which sign to put there. So if that says minus, make sure your original problem also said minus. So what should I do first? My whole number, or should I do my fraction?
Fraction.
All right, 7/9 minus 1/9. What would that be?
6/9.
6/9, okay? 6 minus 4?
2.
2. Can this be reduced at all?
Yes.
If I reduced it, what would it be?
2/3.
Okay, so what's the whole answer?
2 2/3.
2 2/3. Always make sure with the answer that you box in that you also bring your whole number over to it. Now, remember how we said to kind of check your work, we are going to estimate it. So let's look at 6 7/9. Looking at that 7/9, is that closer to a 0 or is it closer to a whole number?
Whole number.
It is closer to a whole number. So instead of saying 6 7/9, let's estimate it up. It's about a 7, okay? Let's estimate this next one, 4 1/9. Is that closer to 4 or is that closer to 5?
4.
It's definitely closer to a 4 because it's only 1/9. So here we've got 7 plus 4. Our estimate, sorry, I made that mistake, 7 minus 4. What is 7 minus 4? 3. Is that similar to the answer we came up with? Yes, 2 2/3 is very close. So that's why estimating can help. Once again, tonight on your homework, you do not have to estimate there on paper. I just want you to estimate in your head so you can guess to see if it seems like the right answer or not. Let's go to the next one, number 3. Just like we said for the other ones, it's written out from left to right, but I want you guys to go ahead and rewrite it from top to bottom. Do I have a common denominator? No, I do not. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is figure out what number a 3 and a 7 can both go into. 21. Okay, you always want to try to find the least common denominator. That means the denominator that is the tiniest or the smallest, okay? So let's look at this first one. I'm trying to get from a 3 to a 7, or to a 21. What do I have to multiply by? 7. I gave that to you. Okay, if I multiply the bottom, I've also got to multiply the top. So what's my new fraction? 14. 14/21. Remember, that means that's the same thing as 2/3. It's an equivalent fraction. Next up, 5/7 has to be turned into 21st. What should I multiply by?
3.
Times 3. Okay, so on your homework tonight and even in your notes, I want to see this kind of work there so I can understand how you're getting these answers. What's my new fraction? 15/21. All right, so now what comes first, the fraction or the whole number? Fraction always comes first. So here we've got, when I'm looking at my fractions, 14/21 minus 15/21. What is that? You cannot do it. So where do I borrow from?
6.
The whole number, the 6. I'm going to cross out the 6 and it becomes a what? A 5. Now, how many 21sts equals the number 1? 21 21sts equals 1. So if you think about it, I just borrowed 1 from right there, okay? So I've got to add 21 21sts over here to my fractions, okay? So here's what we're going to do. This is the part that we are going to actually rewrite, all right? So as I'm rewriting this, my new whole number, let's look at this right here. Now that I've given 1 whole to that right there, my new whole number is a 5, and if I add 21 21sts to 14 21sts, what do I have? 35 21sts. Does that make sense?
No.
You don't have to show me work, but basically what happens, when I took 1 from right there, I took 21 21sts. So I have 21 21sts that I'm going to be adding to this right here, 14 21sts. When you do that, you don't have to show me all this work, but that equals 35 21sts, and that is what I put right there. Okay, so that's how we kind of rewrote it just to make it make a little bit more sense. Now, I'm going to get rid of this just to make it look a little neater. Then let's talk about this. What do I have right there? I don't need to do any borrowing, so I'm just going to bring it over. What was it? 2 and
15 over 21.
15 21sts. Then once again, make sure you bring over your minus sign. Okay, what do I do first? The fraction or the whole number? Fraction first every single time. What is 35 21sts minus 15 21st? 20 21sts. And now, what is 5 minus 2? 3. Okay, so your answer is 3 and 20 21st. Now remember, our instructions said, let's just go ahead and guess or estimate if that makes sense. So to start off, I had 6 and 2/3. Rounded, what would that number be? The number, is it closer to 6 or 7? It's a little closer to 7, all right? So we know that we basically had a 7 minus, what is 2 and 5/7? Is that closer to 2 or closer to 3? It is closer to 3, okay? So now I've got 7 minus 3 is 4. Is that about what we got over there? 3 and 20 21sts is very close. If it was 3 and 21 21sts, it would be exactly 4, okay? So that, once again, was just how we estimate, and you do not have to do that. You don't have to show me that kind of work, okay? Any questions about that problem? Okay, now we've got example 4. Once again, go ahead and rewrite it from top to bottom. What do we do first, our fraction or our whole number?
Fraction.
A fraction. Let's just go ahead and estimate this out first. Right here, 4 and 5/6. What is that near?
5.
It's close to a 5, okay? It's almost the number 5. What about this one down here, 3 and 3/4? It's close to a 4. What's 5 plus 4?
9.
9. So we are guessing our answer should be about a 9. Once again, you don't have to write that down for your homework. Just estimate it, kind of checking it in your mind. So here we go. Fractions come first. What is 5/6 plus 3/4? You can't do it. Why can I not do it? I need a common denominator. What is the tiniest number that it can go into?
12.
Okay, 12. Okay, I heard a 6 at first. Think about it. Can a 4 go into a 6 evenly? No. So we know a 6 isn't, it's too small. So we got to try the next multiple of it, which would be a 12. Okay, can they both go into a 12? Yes, they can. So let's figure out. Remember, this is the kind of work that I want you showing me so that I understand that you understand it. How do I get from a 6 over to a 12? Multiply by what? 2. Multiply by 2. Okay, Asia, what's my new fraction? 10/12 is correct. Let's go on to the next one. Emma, what do I have to do to get from a 4 to a 12? Multiply it by 3. And then what's my new fraction, Kyla? 9/12. Okay. Now we know, do the fraction first. So let's go ahead and add up 10/12 plus 9/12. What's the answer, guys? 19/12. Okay, once we've done our fraction, then we're going to come over here to our whole number. What's 4 plus 3? 7. Now, here's the problem. You are never allowed to leave an answer as an improper fraction, ever. So I've got to change that to something else. What is the same thing as 19/12? Isabel.
One and 7/12.
Okay, she says it's the same thing as 1 and 7/12. So I'm going to take this 7, we'll rewrite it over here, 7. And do you think I should add 1 and 7/12 or I should subtract it?
Add.
You should add it because we are having this as part of the numbers. So 7 plus 1 and 7/12. Now some of you are wondering how in the world did she figure that out. She simply took her 19/12 right there and she went 19 divided by 12. She did this in her head, and that is fine with me. You do not need to show me this work, okay? But if you don't know how to do it without showing the work, that's fine too. Notice that 19/12 is the same thing as 1 and 7/12. So now we're going to go ahead and add those together. What would 7 plus 1 and 7/12 be?
8 and 7/12.
8 and 7/12. Can that be reduced at all? No, it cannot. So that is your final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and do problem 5. You're going to rewrite it. So we've got 6 1/6 plus 3 2/3. I want you guys to try to do this on your own and bring it to me once you think you have the right answer. All right, let's look at this one right here. What is a common denominator between 6 and 3? 6, okay? A few people chose 6. A few people chose a different number. Once again, it's okay. You will just have to reduce it if you don't have the smallest denominator, okay? So this one right here, we know we've got to multiply by 2. And when you do that, you're going to get 4/6, okay? So we add that fraction first. 1/6 plus 4/6 is 5/6. And then 6 plus 3 is 9, okay? So once again, let's just estimate this out to see. 6 1/6. If you round that, what do you get for a whole number?
Get 6.
A 6, okay? When I do 3 2/3, you round that, what do you get? 4. What's 6 plus 4? 10. Is that near what we got for our answer?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very close. So once again, estimating is a smart way of guessing what your answer should be. And you can estimate afterward, you can estimate before. Just compare the two answers, okay? Tonight's homework is just 10 problems. I want you guys to go ahead and write this down for me, please. And that's all that you need for 5.2.